Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking about the 1935 Arkansas Centennial Commemorative Half Dollar, one of the more interesting commemorative half dollars in my opinion. There's a little bit of sort of tomfoolery or racketeering involved with them, so it'll be interesting to go through sort of the history. We'll also talk about values and the context in which the coin was made, but the coin was one of many Arkansas half dollar commemoratives. They minted them from 1935 to 1939 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Arkansas being a state in the United States of America. It was designed by Edward E. Burr. There were a fair amount of revisions done, and people thought that it was not a particularly artistic coin. I think that it's pretty cool looking, but that was just sort of the buzz around the coin. There's a figure of both Liberty as well as a Quapaw native. So for a little bit of context on the formation of Arkansas, the first Europeans arrived were Hernando de Soto in 1541 and 42. He was exploring the area. It would be about 140 years until Henri de Tonty sets up a trading post in 1683 to trade with the Quapaw. So that's the tribe, the native tribe that appears, one of their men with Liberty on the obverse. The territory gets sold to the United States as part of the Louisiana Purchase and starts out as the Missouri Territory. Missouri gets statehood, I believe, in like the 1820 area, but there were enough settlers in 1836 to be admitted as a state in the Union. So these coins, the reason that they went from 1935 to 1939, or first I'll talk about the reverse. We see an eagle, as there are on all of the U.S. coins, or very many of them. Not all of them, that's for certain. We also see the Arkansas state seal, and it does look a little bit like there's some sort of symbolism reminiscent of the Confederacy or the Confederate flag. I'm not exactly sure how that comes into play, but it certainly reminds me of that flag. And Arkansas was part of that movement. They were readmitted to the Union after the Civil War and have been part of it since. But the allowance for the coin was made so that it could be struck for multiple years with no specification to what mint they needed to be struck at. And there were some other similar, I believe it was the Texas and the Boone half dollars, then later the Booker T. Washington half dollar, but it was great for a few sort of inside racketeers who could then market the coins a lot more aggressively. There was sort of an expansion phase where a lot of commemorative half dollars were being produced and enriching a small amount of people. So the dealer Max Mell said that they should also be struck at the Denver and San Francisco mint, and then he bought all of those coins. So they were selling at $1 each. He would buy out all of them, say that they were rare, and then, which they pretty much were, but then sell them at $2.75 each, netting a pretty big profit across of them. You might sell them as a set. The 1935 Philadelphia, which we're talking about today, was the most common of them, and there weren't that many even made, but the mintages just got lower and lower through the years. In 1935, 36, 38, and 39, they were sold by the Arkansas Centennial Commission, but 1937 sees Stax in New York City selling them, and Stax Bowers, still exists today. It was Stax, and then Bowers and Morena merged later on, but some history that sort of carries through to today. But people were sort of upset with the expansion, striking them with different mints. People want to have a complete set, so it was annoying for collectors, sort of gouged them, and then Congress said, this also needs to sort of stop. 1939, they say you got to cut it out and pass legislation where they no longer had the charter to strike these coins, and I believe it would be until 1946 before more commemoratives were seen. The coin itself has a fair amount of blemishing on the coins. They're not that well struck. The luster is sort of greasy, satiny. It's not generally thought of as the prettiest coins. And then in terms of the key dates or varieties, I couldn't find any information on it, but it makes sense. There were some matte proofs that were from the Boone half dollar, which is like a you can look it up. It's a very different style of proof coin, and one source said that John Sinek had ordered some matte proofs for each year in mint mark. I don't know if that's true, but the Boone ones were like $65,000 coins. These coins can be acquired in mint state for about $100, a little bit less if it's XF or AU. I would say buy the mint state over the circulated unless you're doing an actively circulated collection. The big value jumps is from 65 to 66, goes from about $200 to $400, and then mint state 67 increases to about $1,500. 67 plus is a $7,000 coin. So 13,012 of these were made. Not a huge amount, but that pretty much brings us to the end on this one. And I hope that you enjoyed, learned a little something, or it's about Arkansas, the general commemorative half dollar. A lot of interesting history to be able to share with you today. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every US coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.